Nice to see you. How are you, Lisa? Anybody else? It's a rainy day here in Japan. Of course, it's rainy season. One of the 20 rainy seasons that we have. I only slightly exaggerate. No, I exaggerate, but there's 4 or 5 strong rainy seasons. This one, we're lucky the day is not as bad as usual. Hi, Leanne, nice to see you. Hi, Clint, nice to see you too. Anybody else for a hello? It's rainy and all that, but I'm still gonna put my sunglasses on because my eyes hurt. So I'm gonna wear my sunglasses. Love staying silently watching. Thank you for letting me know you're here. If you don't say it, then I always worry that you're not, and I've got to find a way to let you know. Hi, Rose, you got a thunderstorm. Okay, and Carol, happy to see you. So, guys, we're here to see the hydrangeas today. I am feeling better, but I also don't really feel 100%, to be honest, today for lots of reasons. My eyes, tiredness, my time of the month, everything. So apologies for not being my usual brightness, but we're here to have a look at the hydrangeas. Here's a little piece that I made last year to sort of show off the hydrangeas. So we say it's time to gather your blues because it's hydrangea season. And these are so popular in Japan. There are actually Japanese hydrangeas and ones from around Europe as well. I'll just turn the camera around. Here we go. And one's from around Europe. It looks like autumn just there, doesn't it? It's kind of everything. Let's see if this is aligned nicely. Yeah, looks like it so far. We can already see a couple of hydrangeas over this way. The man wearing a lovely yellow, what's it called, a polo shirt. I'm just going to look up while we pass him because I don't want to capture him on my live stream so much. Hello, Cheryl. Nice to see you. Coming in just a second. Ohayou gozaimasu.
アメリカ?
イギリス人です。はい。So here we've got lots of interesting little hydrangeas. I'll show you the other ones in just a moment. But look at them, aren't they sweet? You know I love to do a flower tour in the rain. It's just a light bit of rain right now, but I've got an umbrella here for in a minute. But I love flower tours in the rain because all of the leaves look so lovely and the petals can look so lovely too, don't they? Hi, Linda. Thanks for finding me. Sorry, I just don't have time to add myself into the calendar. It takes too long. I'm sorry. So I'm going to do something I don't usually do when I do a live stream of this area. And that's, I'm going to walk one way and then walk back. So you're going to get kind of 2 for 1 in regards to the order of things. I'll show you the bright pink ones in a minute. But welcome everybody. My name is MissKendalJames and I'm happy to have you here on my live stream. We're here to admire the flowers basically, which is something that we do in Japan quite a lot. So I do it more than I ever would have in the UK actually. In the UK I might have gone to an English garden to enjoy the flowers, but here in Japan, I go to a variety of different places. So I did have a tour live stream set for tomorrow, but I've moved it to Friday, my Friday, which might be your Thursday. I've moved it to Friday to go with the other one because tomorrow it's very wet and rainy. So you might not have realized that it's been moved, or you might not have known that it was one day and not the other in the first place. The lilac ones are your favorite. Don't these look so pretty? So I say these look like bouquets of butterflies. Got some nice bright pink ones up here as well. Thank you all very much for coming. As you can see in the top part of your screen somewhere, there is a little link to my Buy Me a Coffee. If anyone feels like buying me a coffee or book, as I had it named, I would be very grateful. So far that link has not worked, so I don't really know why I'm adding it there. But on the off chance, I'll draw attention to it and we'll see what happens. But of course, your attendance is very much appreciated. So let's go and have a little walk a little further along. There's a plaque that I'll read to you because, excuse me, just try and make sure this is nicely aligned, because this is Omihachiman Canal in Omihachiman, near, in between Hikone and, Kusatsu, and the capital, Otsu, of Shiga, Japan, where I live. We are in the area of oh my goodness, Hide Toyotomi, the samurai warlord and friend of Oda Nobunaga, who you will have heard me talk about before. And it's quite lovely. The canal is about 400 years old. It's almost 5,000 meters long, and it's about 10 to 15 meters wide, depending on what area you view it from. But it's quite lovely. There are not many, but just a few hydrangeas dotted here and there. And I'll read some information about the canal to you as well. Tomorrow's your birthday. Happy birthday, Charity. That's lovely. I'll see if I can muster the energy for a happy birthday, especially seeing as today is my partner's birthday, but a strange fate has fallen upon him and he is in hospital. He was in hospital yesterday and he's in hospital today. Unfortunately, for some reason, unknown reason to the doctors and himself, he has had an anaphylactic shock. So he's got marks all over his body and he's in the hospital on his birthday by himself, alone, feeling pretty poopy. So poop head feels poopy. Sucks, doesn't it? Sucks. However, I'll tell you why it's funny in a minute. I'll tell you why. First of all, I'll read this to you. Okay, so we've got a Hachiman moat. So we have a picture of it here in 1970, and then a picture today. But I think you find this looking more beautiful today, even though it's a rainy day. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you. Oh no, care to him for sure. Hachiman moat. There are several factors that contributed to the development of Omihachiman. One major factor was the Hachiman moat. Like most moats, this moat was originally built to protect a castle. However, in the 1580s, Hidetsugu Toyotomi transformed the Hachiman moat into a canal system and forced boats using Lake Biwa to stop in Hachiman. Also, while Hachiman Mountain Castle was in existence, free trade was initiated similar to the nearby town of Azuchi. I'll explain that in a moment. This caused Hachiman to become an active trade center. Many merchants spread their business throughout Japan from Hachiman. Hachiman moat thus served as a catalyst for Omi businesses. However, after the period of the great economic growth back in the mid-1950s, people's lifestyles began to change. Gradually, interest in Hachiman moat faded. Finally, Hachiman moat became a sewage canal and almost became a landfill. At the time, however, some citizens resisted this landfill and began clearing the moat under the slogan, "We will be sorry if Hachiman moat becomes a landfill." As a result of such efforts, Hachiman moat eventually returned to its former appearance. Various groups still continue the cleaning effort today. Many people who enjoy photography and painting visit Hachiman moat, and it is often used as a shooting location for historic dramas. Hachiman moat remains a symbol of Omihachiman's citizens and a main tourist attraction. And as you can see, it is coming into summer, right? Look at all this, look at all the greenery. Amazing, greenery everywhere. We've been in this area in winter and spring. We haven't seen the trees looking so lush, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm going to be careful where I'm walking here because the stairs are all slippery, so gotta watch out. But yes, poor Ryo. Now let me tell you, Ryo is my partner. Hello, Lauren. Nice to see you. Yeah, sad for him. However, he's a bit of a meanie, and he thinks it's funny to be a meanie. His sister broke her leg about a month ago, and she was out of action. Or she broke, or maybe she sprained it. I don't know. But she was out of action for 2 weeks. And all he could do for about 30 minutes was laugh his head off. Absolutely laugh his head off. So if karma is a thing, then I believe it's come at Ryo and bitten him all over his back and his bottom and his stomach. And karma is what he's allergic to. So there we go. That's what I think has happened here. Poor personally, I don't necessarily believe in karma, but when I see such a thing, when I've witnessed him laughing his head off to his sister's misfortunes, and then he gets such a thing as what he's got right now, you know, it just feels like it is karma, right? Isn't it lovely around here? So they use this as an area for filming period dramas, usually in the Edo period, but just old style stuff in Japan. Karma can be a you-know-what for sure. I told him that and he laughed, and I said, that's what you get. That's what you get for laughing at your sister like that. So you can probably see why it gets to be used as a location for period dramas, because it just looks of its time, doesn't it? It does look like it's from the 400 years ago that it was created. Here's some light pink hydrangeas. Sorry about the blue tarpaulin in the background, not sure what that's all about. And all of the houses and buildings in the area also have to be in keeping with this style. And you notice that there's not a great deal of power cables and things hanging out everywhere. Even though I love them, I'm sad for their absence, but it's actually to make sure that it looks like it's part of that moment in history. You can hear nice running water trickling down through here, and a few different varieties of hydrangeas that we've seen so far. And a lady taking my picture. Don't take my picture, lady. I won't record you. No. Please. Oh, that was so rude. Oh. Excuse me, but that lady was just so rude. She kept trying to take a picture of me, and I started to hide, and she said, is it okay? And I said, no. And she continued to try and take a picture of me, and then made sounds of annoyance when I was hiding behind the bush. How? Oh, that's just so disrespectful. Well, I'm over it, but so rude. If someone has not given their permission to be in your live stream, to be in your photograph, to be in your video, especially if they've specifically removed permission, do not do it. It's so rude. I realise it's quite exciting seeing a foreign person out here, but honestly, sorry everybody. You know, it would be different if I was just walking along enjoying the flowers, but I'm not. I'm working. Oh, so annoying. Sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to get so irate. As I told you, it's my time of the month, so I'm extra irate. Oh well, but rude. You know, it just makes you feel like a zoo animal. And I'm a live streamer, right? But I still don't take liberties like that because it's not very nice. You notice I'm very careful about who I get caught up in my live stream. Even my friends, I ask them if they would like to be in it, and I ask them even if they'd like me to mention their names or not. Anyway, let's get back to the lovely experience. There's all kinds of little flowers around here. These ones look a bit like super, super tall daisies, don't they? Lovely. Let's just be glad that I'm getting away with not using the umbrella. There's only little droplets of water here and there. And a nice little path for me to walk through. As you can see, yeah, I wouldn't like that either. Rose says I wouldn't like that either. It was very disrespectful. So as you can see, there's a canal boat journey that is happening in this area. I think it's about 1,000 yen or 1,500. This area gets really, really extra beautiful during autumn. Of course, I'm thinking it's looking quite lovely right now, being all lush and green. But it gets really nice during the autumn with all the red leaves coming. And then it also gets really nice in the springtime because there are cherry blossoms all the way around here. And you've come here with me at night time to see it all lit up at night time too, which I think is just really special, especially in the autumn and during cherry blossom season. In the cherry blossom season, they don't have too much of it lit up, only a small section, but during autumn, they really go for it. So autumn's the really special one around here. I'll just take you up to see the shops up high, because again, I'm trying not to capture that gentleman in front of me on my live stream. And here you can see a little Nobunaga-san, Oda Nobunaga, one of the most famous samurais. He is represented on these tobidashi-kuns that are around town. This one has an eel. Japanese people love eating eel. They love grilled eel especially. But I hear that steamed eel from Kanto, which is where Tokyo is, steamed eel is also very popular. Let's have a look. Here it says, this town was named after the big Japanese cedars that grew in Hydrangea Shrine locality. It was located at the foot of the hill where Hachiman Castle stood, alongside the moat close to the Hydrangea Shrine in neighboring Miyauchi-cho. A surviving 17th century map shows us that Miyano Bridge, used to connect the town to the shrine, Osugi-cho, was also known as Kyubei-cho, after one of its residents, Tanaka Kyubei Yoshimasa, a vassal of Hidetsugu, lord of Omi province and ruler of Hachiman Castle. So they've used old maps to be able to help us learn what it was like back then, which is nice. But around this area, so we're coming up to the main bridge. This isn't the main bridge, but we're coming up to it a little bit further in the distance. And when we get to it, I'll show you sort of how the town used to be broken into 4 quarters, and I'll tell you a bit more about that as we get there. But thank you all very much for coming. I can hear drumming in the background because there's a very, very famous shrine. You're hoping to visit in November. Lauren, as I've told you before, November is the best time to visit, in my opinion. One of the other 50,000 rainy seasons that there are in Japan happens in October. So November is when you can really make the most of the autumn leaves, and you can make the most of the autumn leaves and get to see lots and lots of light up events. In October, generally they're not quite ready yet, but in November they'll be ready. And yeah, it's just lovely. So, and also you don't have a rainy season exactly. So I would do that if I were you. Yep, double check away. And I've got friends coming to visit in September and in October and in November. If I'm counting you as my friend here, Lauren, you're my friend coming in November. So I think I've got time for each of you in each of those months, which is great. Oh, the canal boat's coming back through. I don't know who's going to think it's fun to take pictures of me again, but I won't be taking pictures of them. Maybe I'll just get myself out of the way. But it's beautiful, right? We're coming. Oh, did we just pass it? Are we coming? Yeah, we're coming up to the main bridge. But I don't know. I think it's got the same lady on it, so I'm going to go up here. I don't want my picture taken today. Time and a place, people. There's a time and a place. So I think everybody here in this live stream right now, I think you're all descendants of Heigo. Am I right? So Heigo being the live streaming platform that we used to use to connect with each other, that finished 2 months ago now. 2 months ago, almost to the week. Look how lush it looks around here. It's quite a contrast from winter, isn't it? Winter was the last time we saw it. So I think everybody is. I don't really need to explain much, but if you find yourself being new to me, then I am KendalJames. I go by MissKendalJames on all social media, so you can check me out, especially on linktr.ee/MissKendalJames. You'll find a link to everything I do there. I don't know, stalking me from a boat. My last name is James, so I'll be very surprised if she's some kind of James Bond character. I've got that name around here. So I hope she isn't stalking me from a boat. So lots of the restaurants in this area have something very nice in them. They have Omi beef. So you might have heard of Kobe beef. In fact, every area in Japan will claim that its beef is the best. But Omi beef is very, very famous because we're not too far from the middle of Japan. And a long, long time ago, lots of things would be transported from Tokyo, which is now the capital, to Kyoto, which is one of the old capitals of Japan. And so this would have just been a hotspot for lots of people traveling throughout Japan, basically, to some of the most major cities. Even in times of old. So Omi beef is very famous. I can mention it to my students in Tokyo, and they know. So if I do an online lesson, then my students are most likely to be in Tokyo. And just over that way, we've got Himure Shrine. Sorry for not telling you, my big old hand is coming in. Himure Shrine, which is where we saw a fire festival happen before as well. We've got some lovely hydrangeas poking out on that side over there. And the main bridge, so this is one of the main bridge scenes that you will experience in things like Kenshin Impact. Rurouni Kenshin is the most recent thing to be filmed here. I'm just going to go a little bit high because I'm trying not to capture the locals in my live stream. And you notice how I keep saying live stream and not saying YouTube, because I don't want them going, "Ine, YouTuber." Just go away. Everyone, as you are. We've got some lovely old wooden structures around here. One of the most impressive things about Omihachiman, actually, is that lots of the wooden structures are 150, 200, 300, 400 years old. And as I'm sure you know, that wooden structures generally don't survive as long as that, especially not in a country that is so prone to things like earthquakes, typhoons, and tsunamis are possible. Although we're next to the lake, not next to the sea, so it's a little bit safer out in this area. But I hope you guys are getting some nice pictures. You're welcome to take screenshots and things, and you're welcome to share them online as well. So there's lots of old Omi merchant houses. I told you that when we get to this bridge, I'll tell you about the fact that the town was split into 4 quarters. Generally quarters of people who would be working. We had the high life of the rich and famous, then the samurais, then the artisans, and then the general people growing rice and making and growing more basic things. But some of the artisans were actually in charge of making guns. So if you carry on walking quite a lot further down here, you have to walk for about 20 minutes, I think. Yeah, 20 minutes. And then you'll come to an area which was actually part of the gun making quarter, which I find quite surprising. But isn't it nice to see the buildings be just so old and just in keeping? It's, as you'd expect Japanese houses to look if you looked at old picture books and things and you'd heard of a faraway town in the east, a faraway country in the east. You might expect them to look quite like what we're seeing right now. And then there's some signs of modern life just in the backgrounds around here, because we come onto main roads, you can hear cars in the distance. Main roads just over that way. Just take you back down here so that I can swing the camera a bit more favorably. Do bear with me. Does anybody have any questions? You are always welcome to interact. I know it doesn't quite feel the same as Hago, so people don't want to in quite the same way, but you're absolutely welcome to. I'm going really careful because it's quite soggy around here. I think I'm going to walk you back down the other way so you're going to get some lovely pictures in a different direction. But there's just a gentleman on his way over, so I'm going to let him come first. But nice lanterns up there as well. The lanterns do get lit up at night time, especially if there are festivals. You want to visit this area? Good idea, Lauren. I would like to take you up in the cable car that is for Hachiman Mountain. I love this scene right here. We're still together, and that's all that counts for sure. That's what counts the most. Please don't take my picture. Don't take my picture. 写真撮らないでください. Okay? Please. So rude. She was behind me taking pictures and I guess videos of me. So I asked her in English and Japanese not to take my picture, but I think she'd already got as many as she wanted. It's just so rude. I just don't understand. She understood in Japanese, so I guess she must be Japanese. But that doesn't usually happen. However, now that we're open to tourism, there's a lot more people who will just think they can do whatever they like. That means foreign people and Japanese people. It's just rude. While she was on the boat, I said no, you know? And she used the word okay, so she must know no. It is upsetting. How far away am I from home? The train station is 14 kilometers. It's 14 kilometers on the train. And then I walked an extra 35 minutes to get here because right now I don't have any money in my bank account. I've got money in PayPal, but it takes 5 days to transfer. My payday is tomorrow, so I don't have money for the bus, sadly. I've got enough money for my lunch though. So I walked, even though it's muggy and humid. It's nice, huh? What do you think? Would you like a canal boat journey through here? And would you prefer to do it? I think you can arrange it at night time, but it's quite busy, or you can do it in the daytime easily. But there can be quite a few canal boats coming through here. Students get summer off in Japan, just like they do in quite a lot of other countries. But interestingly, the school year is split up quite differently I think, to Americans and also to British people. But I'm not sure what it's like in Australia and Canada. But in Japan, their school year starts in April. So everything restarts in April. You've got the fiscal year for taxes. You've got the academic year for students. You've got the trees blossoming and creatures coming to life. So everything restarts in April in Japan. It's a very, very busy time, which is really interesting because in Oshogatsu, which is the first few days of the new year, that's the Japanese New Year, they also have a really, really, really busy time because they have to clean absolutely everything. So I guess they've got to do that, and they can't have spring cleaning in the spring because they're already pooped, you know? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Carol, for saying thanks for all you do for us. Oh, Linda, good point, good point. Linda says, this is such a beautiful area. Won't you miss it terribly when you leave? And yes, I will, because I'll be leaving to move to a big city. So there will be lots of things like this that we'll be missing. But as you've seen with, I think, Louise and Atsuko, you've seen some nice areas in Osaka that are secret little havens. But of course, there will be much more, many more foreign people around and lots more Japanese tourists as well. So it is nice to have these private, secluded areas. The iris is here just going out of season. I've got a few too many things on me to lean down for a shot over there. So yeah, I'll miss it, but I will be back. There are some ladies that I teach here on, I teach them once a month, and they said, what will we do when you go to Osaka? And I said, don't worry. I'll be back. I have to be back because it's so lovely. It's part of my life. It was my first home in Japan. Not this area exactly, but I work here. I work here on Wednesdays too. I don't work, I have to walk 35 minutes back towards where the station is because the ikaiwas are over next to train stations generally. Oops, sorry. It's my umbrella handle. You can hear it tick, tick, ticking. But of course, I'll be back to Moriyama, Hikone, etc. And before I go back to the UK, and before it gets too hot in July, I'm going to try and take you guys back to Hikone Castle. So if you're interested in one more Hikone Castle trip until autumn, then let me know. Leave little notes in the comments and things to remind me if you think there's something missing or that you'd really like to see. me go back to. I've got some lovely tours. I'm taking tours, experiences, live streams. I'm taking you to the Hydrangea forest just once this year in 2 days, about this time, just a little bit earlier in 2 days, and I'm taking you to the botanical garden a couple of hours after. So for people like Linda, you'll probably want to be at the Hydrangea forest, but then I think you'll want to go to sleep. But I'm sorry if I don't add it to the calendar. It's just a bit exhausting adding it to the calendar. And I don't necessarily notice that I get more people, and I definitely don't get more tips for adding it to the calendar. So it's a little bit difficult for me to make the time. I spent ages doing it for the last 7 lives that I did. And I just can't keep finding the time for that, because every time I do that, I'm not doing something else that I need to do for myself. So I'm sorry. I try and share on the Facebook group and on my personal profile. And you might see hints of stuff on Instagram. But you notice I'm not even updating my own Instagram right now. So updating a calendar for other people is just, too much. So everybody, I think I'll start to leave you now. We'll have another little look at the hydrangeas coming up this way. And I'll try and ignore those lovely people having a little walk over there. Maybe I can get you a little close-up shot of a canal boat through the grass. And can you hear drumming? Just ignoring the people over here 1 second. Thank you. Okay, I hope you had a lovely time. You can see Hachimanyama up there. Lauren, I'd love to show you around all of Shiga. I'd love to. If you could spend a day or two here, I could take you to some real hot spots. I'd love to take you to Hikone and Nagahama for 1 day, and then Omihachiman and Moriyama Kusatsu or Otsu for another day, if you're interested. So if anyone wants wild day trips out in Shiga, do let me know. Even when I'm living in Osaka, you're welcome to request me as your personal tour guide for these areas. So let me know. Yeah, it would. Thank you so much, everybody. Sorry if I seemed a bit of a grump for not wanting to have my picture taken, but I've got my work uniform on. I've got bright yellow trainers on. That's sneakers to some of you guys. I've got a heavy bag with an umbrella. My hair's pulled back, sunglasses on. I realize I might look cute to some people, but I'm not feeling cute myself. I'm not feeling cute myself, and I'm working. So no, I don't want my picture taken while I'm working. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So there, you can see I'm all clammy. Thank you, Rose. That's very understandable. No problem, Claire. I'm glad I could spend time with you guys. Best wishes to Rio for sure. Poor guy on his birthday. Just no good, is it? He's 35 today. And in exactly 1 month, I'll be 34. Well, it's not really one of those days. I'm just working. I don't really want to be recorded while I'm working, you know? You know? I just don't want it. And I just definitely don't want it from someone who is doing it before they've asked. And then sneaking up behind me doing it. That's just rude. So thank you very much, everybody. You see the Buy Me a Coffee link. Even if you can't leave money, just click follow, because you'll get links to lots of things that I'm doing. That's my calendar, basically. So please do check your emails. If you're wondering where I am, check your emails and you'll find the stuff. So sorry, I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, so I think you're going to find that you might get cut out in a minute. But please do catch up with this live stream at a later date if you like. Thank you very much. I got lots of other videos, so go and have a look. Go and have a look. Thank you, thank you, thank you.